Good afternoon, dear friends, and why not say good evening since we will get together, continue to stay together into this amazing evening today. Welcome to another a moment that we come as a family here at the SSB virtually still. Hopefully soon we'll be connecting physically, but we send our vibrations to one another, welcoming everyone to this amazing Saturday tonight with our dear friend Maria Paula Goncalves, a special guest. And I say special because she's ahead of us, our speaking in terms of time, right? From UK, it's actually 10 o'clock in UK right now, and we welcome her and this into this amazing moment. And we thank you for your collaboration working with us this late. Stay with us, and we would like to read a passage as usual from the book Happy Life, by the mentor Joanna de Angelis, through the hands of the medium Divaldo Franco. And then we will pray together. We will bring our first announcements, our introductions to our dear friend, and we'll pass the word to Maria Paula Goncalves. Joanna de Angelis in this message says, "Be quiet as you listen. Individuals would be spared many afflictions if they just knew how to listen and reflect. Unfortunately, many people are anxious to pass on what they hear, changing its content and highlighting delicate or negative points. Messages that are untruncated, subjects that are adulterated, have the magic power to disturb, thus generating conflicts and unbearable situations. Do not transmit unhealthy information. Listen calmly without rushing to a conclusion. If you intend to make a comment, be careful when you do it, treating the situation as if it were your own and presenting it in a benign way." With this message, and I'll keep it here separate in case someone would like to put in the comments that they'd like to read again, I'll share it again. But let us go ahead and welcome this moment, besides with the message, with our prayer. And I invite everyone, if you wish, you may close your eyes. Let us find a comfortable, but yet straight position where we can connect with our mentors, the mentors of our house, the mentors of our spiritist centers, giving thanks for this amazing opportunity to have people like-minded, like-hearted, working together to bring health, life into our environment. It's good to have the seeds of love around us throughout the world, emanating light everywhere in this globe, connecting with higher minds not only from here but from other spheres, and guiding us to live a more fulfilling life. Tonight, talking about a delicate ideal in our lives, we have our friend from far away who have spared time, energy to be with us and to guide us under the light of Spiritism. We pray for her, her family, and the environment that she lives. And we welcome everyone with your grace, dear Lord, asking that you guide us to put into practice what we will learn here tonight. May your guidance be with our friend, each one of us, now and forever. And so be it. Before I pass the word to our dear friend, I would like to introduce her in a more formal way by explaining what she does and how she connects this with Spiritism as well. And it's amazing that we take the time to whatever we study, whatever we do, to connect with this amazing science that is Spiritism. And we can do this with anything that we do in life, especially on how we do it as well. Maria Paula Goncalves belongs to the Blossom Spiritist Society in Wokingham, UK, where, with her husband Cristiano, she coordinates Spiritist activities. Professionally, she is originally qualified as a food engineer with a master's degree and a PhD in food science, and currently a nutritionist with a master's degree in human nutrition. She has founded Reconnection by Maria Paula Goncalves, a clinic that promotes nourishment for physical and mental health in Wokingham, UK as well. And we can see through her work that we can find on the web as well, the talks that actually are on the web, as this one will be as well available after this talk, and that she connects this with this amazing science that comes to tell us about our connection with the spiritual world and who we are, right? Tonight she'll be speaking about nourishing the transdimensional, being. Transdimensional, thank you. And with no further ado, please, Maria, it's all with you now.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you very much for the invitation. Good afternoon, everyone from the Spiritist Society of Baltimore. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much for the invitation to talk about something that I really, really love to talk about, that is nutrition. And tonight, or this afternoon in America, we are going to talk about nourishing the transdimensional being, because we are going to understand that we are holistic beings, we are transdimensional beings, and how to nourish all our dimensions. Let's start talking a bit about philosophy and also science and the integrative concept of health. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, around 400 years before Christ, he said that health is similarly defined on the basis of an equilibrium, homeostasis, that we talk in physiological and medicine language, achieved between environmental forces and individual habits. The internal equilibrium depends on the external equilibrium between a person and his or her environment. For Hippocrates, he was talking about the definition of health we're trying to bring nowadays. Okay? He was talking about the human being, inside of him, of the human being and the environment. Epictetus, a Greek Stoic philosopher in the century 1st and 2nd, he lived for 85 years. He said, respect your body's needs. Give your body excellent care to promote its health and well-being. Give it everything it absolutely requires, including healthy food and drink, dignified clothing, and a warm and comfortable home. Do not, however, use your body as an occasion for show or luxury. He was talking about physical, mental health as well, psychological well-being. Continues a little bit about that with other samples of philosophers. Baruch Spinoza, a Dutch philosopher in the 17th century, said, there is no supremacy of mind over body. That is, the man is a whole formed of mind and body, that together they share the interest in divine existence and the maintenance of life. He said, to live well and be happy means to live according to nature, which he associates with God. And Allan Kardec, in the Gospel according to Spiritism, through the Spirit's George, a protecting spirit, said, so then, love your soul and also look after your body, which is the instrument of the soul. To pay no attention to these needs, which nature itself indicates, is to ignore God's law. Then, in these parts, we see along the time recommendations from from scientists and philosophers about the integrative concept of health, that once we are incarnated, we should pay attention about the physical body as well. What is health? Let's think about the definition of what is health. What do you think? According to the World Health Organization, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. This definition has more than 70 years old, and we are still using only these physical parameters to say someone is healthy, it's health or not. If the blood pressure is fine, if the sugar level is okay, if the cholesterol, triglycerides level is fine, we are considered healthy. But it's not true. We should consider our mental aspect and our social aspect as well. And for more than 20 years, some scientists are trying to incorporate the concept of environmental and spiritual as well to this definition of health. We consider that if a person has all the physical parameters, fine, but if this person is not forgiving, if this person is not having purpose or meaning in life, she's not considered very healthy. Then, health is an integrative concept. We are holistic beings, and everything that affects our biological dimension affects also our physiological, social, spiritual, and everything inside our environmental. And for example, we have stress, pollution, relationships, illness, emotions or thoughts, lifestyle, sleep, and nutrition. Everything, every factor affects our dimensions. And today we're going to focus on nutrition for all these dimensions. The World Health Crisis. I would like to invite you to reflect with me about the situation of health in the world nowadays. Unfortunately, sadly, we have very, very high numbers of non-communicable diseases or lifestyle diseases. There are diseases that we cannot transmit to each other, but unfortunately the numbers are scaring us. Like diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, depression, anxiety, cancer, degenerative disease, autoimmune disease, chronic respiratory disease, allergies, to say some examples. And the question that I would like to reflect tonight is why these numbers are increasing a lot. If the human body is a perfect system, if we have abundance of therapeutical resources, if we have efficient food supply system, and if we have efficient medical techniques, why these numbers are so high? And the forecast is scary. If you think about the human evolution, we've had some disconnections over it. We are disconnected from nature through our artificial nutrition. We are disconnected from ourselves through the high number of stress and emotional problems. And we are disconnected from others because we don't have much meaning. We are feeling depressed. We are not feeling connected with our essence. When I say we, I'm talking about most of the population nowadays. The role of nutrition in health. If you put nutrition inside this whole definition of health, we can find an effect easily about physical dimension, because we have during the life cycle, we have different requirements of nutrients. When the woman is pregnant, when when the baby was born, different demands, childhood, toddler, child, adolescent or adult, and even elderly, they have different nutritional demands. Then we can find easily find the connection between nutrition and mental health. We are going to see further in this presentation how important is nutrients for the brain. We can easily find a connection between food and social aspect as well. Environment, because the food we eat, we choose to eat, has an impact in the environment. And the spiritual side, because according to the food we eat, the way we eat, even the environment, protecting the environment or not, if we have peace, if we are nourishing well our body, it reflects in the way we manifest our spiritual being as well. Continuance. Let's talk about the importance of nutrients. We are made of cells, and nutrients are the building blocks for the cells, and the cells are the building blocks for organ and tissues. Then, if we have nutrients, we have a healthy body. We have around 100 trillion of cells. We renew around 50 million cells a day. And each cell needs, on average, 45 nutrients to do its function. Neurotransmitters are messengers molecules produced by nerve cells to communicate and control almost every function of the body, like mood, memory, appetite, and sleep-awake cycle. Neurotransmitters are made of protein. We need amino acids, that is the building block of proteins, to produce hormones and neurotransmitters. Then nutrition is so important for the body and for the brain, the whole body, and especially the brain. Brain needs nutrients as well. It's a complex organ made 60% of fat. Then we need fat to feed our brain as well. It uses 25% of body's energy. It's a small organ if you compare with others, but demands a lot. And it has 100 billion of neurons. Brain is the organ of expression of the spirit. And I would like to invite you now to make a comparison. If the brain is the organ of expression of the spirit, let's think about how important it is to nourish our instrument or our brain, our physical body. If we take, for example, Mozart as an example of a spirit, Mozart know how to play the piano amazingly. But if Mozart sit in a child piano, do you agree that the expression of his music or his ability will be according to the equipment? Of course, it's Mozart playing, but the sound, the expression is not very well. On the other side, if Mozart sit in front of a grand piano, it's completely different. Okay, the expression of his knowledge, his ability is completely different. And I would like to invite you to understand and to think about this. Most of the cases is not a genetic predisposition or a genetic problem, because we can damage our keyboard. Then considering that we are a spirit, a musician spirit, we can damage the keyboard of our piano, and the expression, the potential expression of our spirit will be damaged because we use the physical body to express our spirit. Then to keep a healthy body is part of our commitment as incarnated beings, okay? This is just a metaphor to explain to you that the potential of the spirit can be very high, but if you are using equipment, an instrument that our body, our mind, our brain, we can commit create impairments in this manifestation, okay? Some factors that affect mental health that lots of people don't know. We need to consider nutrients because our body needs to be nourished. Our brain needs to be nourished to express it perfectly. We have the topic of gut microbiome as well. We know about the connection between gut and mind, and this is a very, very amazing topic to discuss inside the Spiritism as well, because in this topic we learn about the sensation of belonging, of the community we depends on microscopic beings living inside of us. Actually, we are more bacteria than cells, because we have 10 times more bacteria in our body than cells, and we depend on tiny, tiny beings to express health in a nice way. Then I think this could be a nice philosophy, a nice conversation about humidity, about sense of cooperation. In another opportunity, we could talk about that. Then gut microbiome also affects our mental health. Food allergy or intolerances. Some food allergies or intolerances, or lately allergy, can cause manifestations in brain or behavior, different behaviors according to the compounds that alter the gut microbiome and also alter the metabolic via in our body, and can has the brain as choke organ, and we can have like different moods, different kinds of concentration, brain fog, irritability, aggressivity. We can have different reactions according to food intolerance as well. Then it affects mental health. It's something related to body that can be expressed through the mind. And also some pesticides, genetic modified organisms, pollutants, and preservatives also affects our mental health. This is just a slide to illustrate that we are affected by many, many conditions. Now, the role of nutrition in health, not with the food, the physical food, but the food for the soul. Then meditation, prayers, uplifting books or podcasts, videos, meetings or study groups, music and art also affect the physical, the mental, social, environment and spiritual dimension. Then we need to feed our dimensions, physically speaking and spiritually speaking as well. What is health to Emmanuel, the spirit guide of Chico Xavier? In the book, The Comforter, he said, health is the perfect harmony of the soul, for which many times there is need for the precious contribution of the inconvenience and temporary deficiency of the earth. Sometimes we need the disease to evolve, to understand, to learn. The sick body reflects the inner panorama of the ill spirit. The pathogenesis is a set of inferiorities of the psychic apparatus. Here, having harmony of the soul is living according to the law of love, beauty, and goodness. And this definition of health as a perfect harmony of the soul, we can see the disease as an opportunity or a way of the healing, a way to achieve the healing, because through the diseases we are going to discuss further in this presentation, but through the disease we have an opportunity to return to the right way, to the right pathway. It's an opportunity as well to self-discovery, to self-knowledge, and also to understand. The disease comes with a messenger, like a messenger, with a message to put us again in the right connection with the divine, with ourselves, and also with the others. It's essential to care for our physical, mental, and spiritual bodies. Allan Kardec, in the book Genesis, chapter 11, item 24, says, the obligation for the incarnate spirit to provide the nourishment of his body, his security, and his well-being compels him to apply his faculties in the pursuit of exercising and developing them. Its union with matter is, therefore, useful for its advance. This is why incarnation is a necessity. While incarnated, we as a human beings need to take care of our body in a very special way. Now, let's try to understand this transdimensional effect in health. The human being is transdimensional. Building integrative health is taking care of our multiple dimensions: physical, energetic, mental, and spiritual body. And we have the spirit, we have the perispirit and the physical body. Connecting the perispirit with the body, we have the vital body or etheric double, okay? Let's try to understand this a bit. The fact of admitting the existence of non-measurable energy components in humans allows the study of a portion of us that exists in a different dimension from the one explored so far, and it's called transdimensional physiology. Transdimensional physiology. Let's go a little bit deeper in this. This branch of physiology must establish the system and mechanisms that relate the well-known physical man and the ethereal man, first by describing their relationship structures, the transdimensional anatomy, and then understanding their functioning. When we study the human physiology, we can understand mechanisms that generate diseases in the physical body. We're talking about physical body. Then we can understand the pathophysiology. But when we study the transdimensional physiology, we can understand the transdimensional pathophysiology and the primary causes of human diseases and afflictions. That is the same that talk about the imbalances of the I, the person, and the diseases of the soul. Talking about the diseases, let's try to understand how do we get ill and how does it work? The relationship between emotion, thoughts, and health. How do we get ill? First of all, it's necessary to understand the concept of integral health and downward causation. It comes from the mental and goes to the organic, which starts in the mental level, conscious and immaterial essence, passes to the energetic level, that is biological organizing model or biomorphic field, that is the perispirit and vital body compounds, and from there to organic level. In other words, it's in the thought, psychoelectromagnetic waves produced by the conscience or the spirit and directly influenced by its emotions, which generates a fluid field that passes to the energetic bodies commanded by the coronary center, and from there to the physical body, through the brain, especially through the pineal gland or cortex that we can see in this purple, not this one here. These fluids influence the network of communication and regulation of the organism, leading to equilibrium, health, or disorganization, illness at the biological and physiological level. Then it's a downward causation. It's the mental, it's the spirit that gets ill, that transfer the vibration in all through the thoughts and through the feelings, because everything starts in the thought, but is directly influenced by its emotions that pass this vibration until the disease comes to the physical body. In the process of healing is also, we need to be healing the mental first until we get the healing through the organic body. And it's because of that, lots of people can pass away or can disincarnate, heal it, okay? Because sometimes, because of the level of vibration, the healing process occurs in the mental health, in the spiritual, in the essence of the spirit, but we don't have time to see these reflecting in the organic, in the physiological body, okay? Continues. Is there any science reinforcing the importance of nutrition for body, mind, and emotions to explain health and disease? Now I would like to reflect with you, like, what science says about that? what's going on in scientific field? Is it scientific proof the importance of nourish the body, the mind, and emotions? Let's talk about some examples. Let's talk about a science called epigenetics that says, genes load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. We can turn off or turn on some genes. We have the genes, but the fact of having bad genes doesn't mean that I'm going to develop the disease. Some environmental factors can affect the manifestation, or can silence some genes, or can make them express. These environmental factors can be diet, can be diurnal or seasonal correlations, disease exposure, toxic or chemicals, drugs of abuse, financial status, exercise, microbiome, that is gut microbiome, therapeutical drugs, alternative medicine, social interactions. Yes, relationships play a very important factor as a pillar of health. Positive relationships can heal as well, and physiological state. Then epigenetic comes to tell us that it's not the genetic that controls our biology, it's the epigenetics. We're going to talk about this. And together with epigenetics, we can talk about nutrigenomics. That is how the food we eat can change the expression of our genes. Then we can even have embedded genes. Through nutrition, for example, through different lifestyles, we can silence the bad genes and promote the expression of the good genes. Excuse me. The epigenetics was a science that was became very popular at the Human Genome Project, and said to us that who controls our biology is the environment, not the genes. These studies related to epigenetics occurred with lots of identical twins, and you can see this, these photos, that they are identical twins. What means they have the same gene sequencing, but they have different expression. They do not like, they don't look like identical twins. Some of them you can see that they are quite different, but they have the same code, but the expression of this code is different. Again, consider, to understand better epigenetics, let's think about the non-symphony of Beethoven. The code is the same. If you go to Japan, if you go to Paris, if you go to the United States, the sequence of the song is the same, but how I can express this code, if I play in the piano, if I play in the violin, if I play with the whole orchestra, the expression of the code is different. Then genes is the code, the non-symphony of Beethoven. But how I play this code, or how the whole orchestra play the code, is the epigenetics, how the code manifests itself. Factors that may potentially change our gene expression is nutrition, lifestyle, the way I sleep, the way I exercise, the way I interact with people, the way I manage my stress, environment, if I live in a healthy environment, or if it's polluted or not, if it's a peaceful environment and everything, and social factors as well can affect the expression of these genes. Here is a very important thing that empowered us a lot after the epigenetics. To develop a disease, it's necessary two factors. If we have just one, we don't have the disease. We have to have predisposition factor that is related to gene, and we have to have the triggering factor, that is the terrain to manifest the gene. Then when we have both, we are having the disease. Predisposition factor alone do not cause any problems, okay? Every health problem occurs because we have the predisposition. It's true, we depends on the gene, the genetic factor. But if we do not create the terrain to the manifestation of this bad gene, we do not have the disease. And it empowers us a lot, because it's not casuality, it's causality. It means I'm responsible for something. It's not by chance I have this bad genetics and I got the disease. Most of the cases I can control, okay? I can choose, conscient or not, but I can choose. Is there any science reinforce the importance of nutrition for body, mind, and emotions? Yes, we have another science called psychoneuroimmunology that talks about the dialogue between the nervous system, the endocrine system, and the immune system. How the way we think and feel affect the manifestation of disease or health. The psyche is also the primary source of the endogenous pharmacological resource. We have endogenous pharmacological resources capable of healing or minimizing the suffering of the physical body. This way, it is possible through certain therapeutical techniques to learn the alchemy of well-being, modifying the course of our genetic activity, our biology, and our perception of disease. Yes, according to the thoughts we have and according to the feelings we have, Candace Pert, a scientist that studied a lot about psychoneuroimmunology, she called this the chemical bodies. It's the language between mind and body that we can, through our thoughts and feelings, we can produce the right or the wrong chemicals. Yes, when we are stressed, when we are depressed, when we are very negative, we can deplete our immune system and do not produce the right chemicals to defend us. Then it's very important, and it's very correlated to everything the Spiritist doctrine teaches us about self-knowledge to transform our behaviors. And it's possible if you change the way you think, if you change the way you feel, we can have a healthy status. Remembering that Emmanuel, through Chico Xavier, told us that health is the perfect harmony of the soul. Then when we are in harmony with the beauty, the good inside us, we do not need the disease, because the disease is like an educator. It teaches some important things. Nutrition for the transdimensional being. Here is just to remind us that as an incarnate being, we have spirit, perispirit, or organizer biological model, vital body, or etheric double, and physical body. As a discarnated being, we just have spirit and perispirit, okay? It's curious that in our body, the cells, when we start, like the conception, how do they know, how the cells know that they have, starting from the same gene, have the same information inside them to be so differentiated, and one produce the brain cell, another the cell for the liver, another for the skin. It occurs because of the organized biological model, that our perispirit, that the conventional science, they do not talk about that, they do not understand. If we take the cells out of the body and try to reproduce in labs, they do not know what to do, because they are out of this organization. You know, lots of time, it's just amount of cells that they don't know how to behave as brain cells or liver cells or blood cells, because we depend on this organization. And understand a bit about the perispirit and the biological organizer model, the knowledge of the perispirit is the key to a host of physiological and physical problems until now explained. When medical science considers the influence of the spiritual element in the fabric of beings, they will have taken a great step, and completely new horizons will open for them. Allan Kardec told us in the Medium's book. The biological organizer model, or perispirit, shapes the physical body in the new incarnation. We come with this command to the organization of ourselves. It archives sensations, emotions, and occurrences. Then the way we are living now will affect our next being in our next opportunity of reincarnation. It goes on acting like a shape of the future physical body based on past life experience and what the individual needs to evolve. According to the way I'm living now, the experiences I'm having now, the way I'm living, my lifestyle is so important to keep the body and the physical organ, especially the brain, that is the expression of the soul. Nourishing the body is so important to make a better expression or the best instrument to my soul, to my spirit. Then I would like to invite you this afternoon to think about the importance of taking care of your holistic being. Feed your body as well, because as incarnated being, it's very, very important to take care of your instrument. That is the organ of, it is the way of manifestation of your spirit, okay? And the root for well-being is to feed body, mind, and emotions, to eat food, real food, because we are very ill, because we are completely disconnected. We are having lots of problems, health problems nowadays that we could avoid. We are having lots of impairments in our body due to our disconnection from nature, ourselves, and others. And I would like to invite you to reflect today of the importance of nourish your body, your physical body, your mind, and your emotions as well. And I would like to thank you for your attention, and I wish you plenty of nutrients for your whole self. Here are the references that I have used to prepare the presentation. Thank you very much.
Wow, Maria, thank you so much for all this information and how you connected this to our daily lives. It's just an amazing way or invitation for us to follow and really dedicate this to a better environment within us, right, and helping others as well. I would like to thank you again for the sticking with us this late. And we do have a lot of people as saying, giving their hellos and saying hi and welcoming and connected here with us. We do have some questions as well that I would like to go writing to it. And it's not that I'm actually ignoring the hellos, but I think we're here to learn and to share the best we can of this topic. I do have some questions myself that I'll be asking after we can share some of these questions here. The first one that I would like to present is from our friend Justin Gray. He says, I have colitis. I have always wondered why is going on in my spiritual life that may have allowed this condition, and if I can remedy it in some way, or if it may be an expiation, which is probably too harsh a word, but y'all know what I'm getting at. First of all, before I pass the word to you, thank you, Justin, for exposing yourself and saying what you just said. But I think it's important. This is a safe group, a safe area that we can discuss these things. And I'll pass the word to you, Maria. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I think all this disease, all conditions, all health conditions, it's an opportunity. I see the disease as a messenger. I tell my clients that we should pay attention about the message. I think it's an opportunity to know ourselves and to change something inside us. It's an opportunity of self-discovery, self-knowledge, and I think we should try to heal. Of course. No, I don't believe that it's like an expiation that we have to suffer, because if you do not learn how to live better after this condition, we are not healing anything. Okay? I think it's an opportunity to say, okay, thank you for being here. I would like to understand what you, disease, would like from me. And first of all, accept the condition, but try to do your best with nutrition, lifestyle, thoughts and feelings to try to modify something on you. I think the disease is also an opportunity or a manifestation of physical disease of our unconscious mind that sometimes we do not realize, and the unconscious side knocks the door many times, and we sometimes do not understand that we need to open some door, and different kinds of manifestation comes, and I think the disease is one of them. It's an opportunity of self-knowledge, self-care, and through this process, we can be much better if we really pay attention about this journey, the process, and the message.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing your answer also. And we also have Yasparakava saying, good emotions, correct diet, exercising well, so well known and propagated through the internet. How come that disorders related to wrong lifestyle is still increasing? What is wrong with us?
Good question, Yasko. Very good question. I think the invitation is here. Now we received it recently through the coronavirus pandemic, a very important message that we need to have a strong immune system. It's what we can do to deal with this kind of conditions that come suddenly and take us completely without any preparation. But having a good immune system, it's what we can do for us. Then despite all the messages, despite all the invitations, unfortunately, we're still sleeping for them. We are blind and deaf for them, unfortunately. Because it's funny, as I put in one slide, why the diseases are increasing like that. But which kind of diseases are increasing? The disease related to lifestyle. Unfortunately, because of money, because of lots of industry trying to gain money, the medical industry, the pharmacological industry, the food industry, there are lots of things that are being done in a wrong way, because lots of food we are eating, they are very bad. They can create lots of dependency, addiction, and we are provoking lots of impairments. But we need to change these, but it's just being aware of these kind of things. And lots of people, they even don't like, as a nutritionist, I can note that lots of people, they even don't like to talk about life changes, because changing their habits, because they should stop eating. They should stop doing what they are doing. And it's not easy, I recognize, but it's necessary because we are very ill. There are lots of demands, there are lots of invitations. We are seeing now, the coronavirus is, I think, the strongest invitation we receive it now, because our immune system, very strong, is extremely necessary. Obesity and other immune system conditions are very serious for this pandemic, because it's the more vulnerable people. and we need to take actions. And I see this as a very big invitation to tell us that we need to take care of our body in a nice way, feed with the right nutrients, because if we're made of cells, if we are incarnated, we need nutrients to make our cells work and our body work as well.
Amazing answer. Yes, we're living in a time right now where we're getting bombarded with different things, and more than ever, our bodies are screaming for a change. But this idea of change that you brought is not so appealing for everybody, right? And we are very we don't like change. We don't accept change that much. And I also like to emphasize on the idea that if we have gotten here thus far, it took us a long time, and this is not a misbehavior that went over overnight. We've been doing this for quite some time, so now to get out of it, obviously it's going to take a lot of energy. But thank you. Our dear friend Paula through Yasko is asking, what is the success rate in UK regarding the implementation of the concept of transdimensional being and corresponding healthy lifestyle?
Well, I try with my clients it's not very popular here, because here we don't see lots of people open to this idea. We have lots of spiritual churches, but lots of people here are very scientific, and they are not very open to this concept of transdimensional healing. But I try to bring to my clients this experience. I use lots of tools in my consultations that make them consider this dimension as well. Through the psychoneuroimmunology, I am a therapist in psychoneuroimmunology as well, try to change their way to feel the disease, how to change their perception of their thoughts and their feelings to face this process of healing. But it's not very popular. It's more scientific things, what is not being proved by science, or not that we cannot prove this by science, we can through lots of science, but it's not for all yet. Not all are open to this fact that we have the metaphysical body as well.
Thank you. And then I would like to move on to our dear friend Albert Morales, who is saying thank you. And she says, in certain areas of the USA and the world, people doesn't have access to healthy, fresh food, but to inexpensive fast food. How to have a balanced diet in such circumstances?
Thank you, Albert, for your question. I think there is a myth that healthy food is expensive. I think, of course, we have some specialized supermarkets that is very, very expensive, that the organic food can be sold by huge amount of money, but everyone in the single world can eat healthy in a cheap way, like normal food. If you cannot buy organic, it's much better to buy your fruit or your vegetable that is not organic, but is a real food. I think I agree with you that a processed food can be extremely cheap, but can cost you lots of money, or to the government lots of money in the future. Then I think we can have good food for a reasonable price. We need to be creative. We need to try to take advantage of the seasonal fruits and vegetables that are cheaper during some times of the year. We can try with cheaper options of grains, and for example, legumes or pulse, they are cheap. And lots of people do not use this in a nice way, like chickpea, beans, good source of protein and carbohydrates. I think people need to discover the cooking as a new opportunity of art expression, because we need to combine shapes, color, flavors, and to return to this condition. I think it was another thing, good thing from the pandemic, We had time to prepare our food because the restaurants were closed, and cooking together, invite family to help, and have our food from scratch is another way of connection with ourselves and with nature as well. I think it's more myth, and lots of people justify. I'm not telling that in your case, Alba. Thank you for your question again. But lots of people are still stuck in their false belief that cooking is lots of work. I think as other house tasks, if you organize like a project, if you organize, if you plan before, if you buy things before, it can be done during your daily routine. And when you discover the pleasure of eating a very good food, when your body is used to that, it's amazing how you respond with sensations. I have some clients that in 1 month, they drop the symptom questionnaire that we use a lot in functional medicine. We have a questionnaire of symptoms of the body. And in 1 month, they can drop half or more just eating real food. They stop having headaches, they stop having stomach problems, they stop having fatigue because they are connected with real food. And it's a good experience. I invite everyone to try.
Perfect, thank you. I would like to pose my question now because I think it's a little bit of a follow-up question to what Alba just asked. And recently, I've been reading a lot school projects and all about the influences that an organization has from the internally and externally as well. The different things that comes towards us. And I want to apply this to your talk, to what you were saying at the beginning, especially being this holistic being, that there are several elements that affects us, from the outside, right? Alba just mentioned about the food that we eat, but there are other elements as well that we can take as some kind of nourishment for us. And sometimes these nourishments, they're not very healthy, right? Thoughts, feelings, environments, you name it. My question is a general question in terms of how to deal with it, because we cannot stop the external, right? What's coming towards us. And perhaps if you want to elaborate in a more specific way, a specific area, it's okay. But generally, how do you deal with it? What is your approach? For example, if somebody it lives in a home where not everybody eats healthy, and you want to eat healthy, not everybody wants to watch healthy programs or go into certain diets that you are allowing yourself to embark on. So how to deal with this? Because it can be very harsh, right? Because the environment, as you mentioned at the beginning, does play a huge role on it.
Yes. Let's say that the environment, the stressful life, the pollution, and the chemicals we are eating through the food we are eating now with lots of pesticide and lots of things, they cause some oxidative stress in our body, some free radicals, okay? How to deal with these adverse conditions? Eating antioxidants or anti-inflammatory compounds. And where they come from? From nature. Eating colorful meals, rainbow diet, full of colors, natural colors, orange, green, purple, yellow, red. They are full of nature's pharmacy. I used to tell my clients, it's nature's pharmacy. These compounds can neutralize, because the effect of antioxidant is to get the free radical that is trying to destroy lots of cells because it has an imbalance of electron, it is less filled, trying to get from cells and damage the cells. But if you eat lots of nutrients, lots of antioxidant compounds, you neutralize, you make this free radical happy because the antioxidant donates this electron that is missing and stabilizes the body. Then the best way to preserve your cells is eating real food to compensate the adversity from the lifestyle, stress, pollution, pesticides, and everything. If you can minimize that, okay. Other thing we have to think that we are responsible for the choices we have. After epigenetics, everything is our choice. Okay? Then I can have a bad genes. I can have a bad condition, live in a polluted area, but I can make some choices to compensate or to minimize that. Then if I eat processed food all the time, it's artificial nutrition, I'm not eating the body, and I'm stressed the body, because besides I'm not offering nutrients, I'm making the body spend more energy to get rid of this pollutant. Then I deplete. Also, because of that, I feel fatigued. I feel lots of low energy, lack of energy, because I'm not nourishing. And in addition, I'm stressed the body to get rid of the bad food I'm eating. Then I think it's a matter of choice. And the fact is neutral. Lots of factors in our life. Not all can be negative. Recently, during the pandemic, I participated as a student in a project so beautiful. The person is in America now. The project is called, it's in Portuguese, project called Acolher Perdas e Lutos. It's for grieving people. And the person that organized the project, that has 2 years, she lost 2 kids. It's not easy for anyone, but she transformed this experience in something very positive. Rosana de Rosa, it's the person, I have learned lots of things with her. And because of the experience, she saw the things in another way. She saw as an opportunity. She suffered a lot for sure, because for a mother, but she transformed the experience. I think we should do this with the disease, with bad things in our lives. We can, the fact by itself is a fact. How we see the fact, it's a choice. And transform this bad thing in an opportunity, I think, is the invitation, the life's invitation, you know? Then adversity situations, all of us face some ones more than others, but how do you see the fact? It's your choice.
Perfect. Yes, and I love the what you mentioned earlier as well, when you said casuality versus causality. I never put those two together, but Emmanuel, in a very, how am I going to say, inviting but strong way, he reminds us, right, of our responsibility in our lives. And sometimes it can come across. I have heard friends say, "Oh, it's too harsh," but I think it's just that the paper or the position of an older brother telling us, take control of your life. You are responsible for it. And for us, the way we live, we're so materialistic and we are so reactive to life that we don't understand this, and we think that is casuality, right? Yeah, there is a degree of it, but as you say with epigenetics, I mean, we have control of it. With our minds, the way we conduct ourselves. There is situations, as you mentioned, with our friend, he asked about the colliders, that we have to learn, but we also have to think about it and see. So I'm glad that you're clarifying these topics with us today, and I'm glad that you're studying. There are people in the world that do this hard work. Next, we do have some more time. And I believe this will be the last comment or question. You can elaborate on this as well. Juliana says, diseases will not go away until we have reached the harmony of the spirit. That's a long path ahead of us. Why not look to the disease as lessons? An ignorant cannot be held accountable for bad habits.
Yes, Juliana. As I mentioned before, the beginning of the presentation, I see the disease as a master that comes with an important message to invite us to transform something that we are not doing well. It's an opportunity of self-knowledge and self-discovery. And when you listen to this message, we can transform. We have many stories of people that after disease saw the essential of life, or find themselves, or find their connections with others. and learned a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. It is true. Reincarnation itself, right? It's a moment for us to transform itself, and I think that there is we have to give a huge importance on, changing our lives and change how we see nourishment. Um, I'm a very, I love chapter 9 of the book Nosular that talks about nutrition, and they always remind our brothers and sisters, that follow Spiritism, that whenever we get into the idea of nutrition, food, and I'm not an expert on it, I'm far from it even in terms of exercising this, but we see the idea and the connection with food that we have, right? That this is not something that is happening in the now, but has happened in the past with us, even before we reincarnated. So we need to give the kickstart of changing our lives. And I think with this talk tonight, this is the reason why I'm bringing this to light now. You are allowing us and reminding us that we need to take a different path. We have friends who live with us, who worked with us, that sometimes give us the glimpse of, what, I need to change. But having a conversation like this and in a moment like this truly invites us to, we need to make a change. This is for yesterday, and we have to make sure that we do our best. I would like to, because of time, give you a minute or two for your final conclusions if you have none. If not, why not ask you to say our final prayer as well? And then from that moment on, we can finalize and close our evening and let you go to get some rest as well, because that's also important nourishment too. It's late there in the UK.
Okay. I just would like to invite all our friends from this evening to reconnect with real food. If you want a recipe about what to do with your food, what to eat, I would say real food. Lots of vegetables, plenty of fruits, colorful food, and feel more than unpack. We need to reconnect with nature again, and we are going to solve lots of impairments in our body, and then express better our spirit through our instrument while we are incarnated. I would like now, then, if you don't have any other questions, do you want me to do the final prayer?
Hey, yes, please. If you can say the final prayer, would be perfect. Thank you.
Okay. I would like just say thank you to everyone that are connected this night with us in this reflection of nourishing body, mind, and emotions. I would like to thank you, Lord. I would like to thank you, our Master Jesus. I would like to say thank you, all the spirits, friends of all of us, to ask Jesus at this moment to, through a magnetic healing, to touch all the cells in our body with this magnetism, putting all the cells in harmony, to work perfectly, and to give us opportunity to listen, to learn, and to act in the way we came to do. I appreciate everything we have. I appreciate the family. I appreciate the work. I appreciate even single opportunity to be better, to share, to experience what we have, to experience, to learn, and to growth, and to contribute in this world. Thank you, everyone. May Jesus be with all of us in his peace and harmony. I wish you all plenty of health, harmony, and peace in your heart. God Jesus bless us all and ever.
Thank you.
Thank